Este edificio se movió horrible, horrible. Tronó horrible. Que se salgan, la pared se rompió. Que se salgan. Que se salgan, se va a caer ese edificio, se va a caer. Dios mío, Dios mío, Dios mío, Dios mío. Dios mío, Dios mío, Dios mío, Dios mío.
Loosely hitting particles with enough force to counter the gravity keeping them down. This increases the sand particles' movements. They tend to vibrate at first, then later travel over the surface. With a loosening roar and rocking force, they repeatedly touch the ground, loosening up and breaking down all the tiny dust particles. Which then continue to travel in suspension. At wind rates above what allows the smallest to be suspended, there would be a population of dust grains going. Sand and dust storms typically arise as strong winds with a building momentum, lifting vast quantities of sand and dust from bare, dry surfaces to the atmosphere that would otherwise be stagnant. Over the past decade, awareness is rising at the effects that humanity has had on the quantity and impact that we have on causing these destructive events to occur. There's only so much you can do to combat the raw power of one of the Earth's natural elemental monsters, the dust storm.
On the Fujita scale with ratings between 0 and 5, using actual damage to determine a tornado's wind speed. A storm of F0 is the weakest and F5 is the strongest. Different winds may be needed to cause the same damage depending on how well built a structure is, wind direction, wind duration, battering by flying debris, and other factors. Tornadoes usually develop from severe thunderstorms in warm, moist, unstable air along and ahead of cold fronts. Such thunderstorms may generate large hail and damaging winds. When intense springtime storm systems produce large, persistent areas that support tornado development, major outbreaks can occur. Tornadoes have enough power to destroy the entire city and uproot trees. Such violent storms can be found within all continents except Antarctica. Tornado Alley, aka the region that covers North Texas, Oklahoma, thousands of miles, and mainly hit coastal areas. Tsunamis have greater speeds in the deep water of the ocean. However, while their speed decreases when they approach coastal areas, their height grows exponentially. Tsunamis can cause great loss of life and property damage in coastal areas. Very large tsunamis can cause damage to coastal regions thousands of miles away from the earthquake that caused them. Beaches, lagoons, bays, estuaries, tidal flats, and river mouths are the most dangerous.
Contemplating life. However, another fascinating option for the fire lovers out there are fire whirls. They present a strong intensification of combustion, usually during large urban and wildfires. However, they are obscured with many features. A mixture of wind and fuel to produce something like a sandstorm, but with fire and smoke. A scorching heat that looks pretty awesome, but is vicious. They are not understood well, with most understanding coming from a laboratory as they're very dangerous to approach, due to the high strength and force and temperature of the flames, also the destructive powers of the momentum that acts like a wind funnel. The best guess at understanding this epic reaction is really a combination of just about everything you would expect. Between heat and wind, geometry, and gravity. The natural reaction of high winds and a large fuel source pushing the flames to desolate the surrounding area. The end product is still a mysterious whirlwind that carries with it the fury of nature's wrath, with aesthetics that make the jaw drop because it's not